It's actually a decent display set, but... Hey guys, this is JP's LEGO Reviews, and today I'm going to review the LEGO Star Wars AT-ST Walker. Now, the piece count on this set is 449 pieces, the set number on this set is 75153, and the recommended age rating for this set is 8 to 14. So, let's break it down. Now, from left to right, the minifigure selection includes Baze Malbus, a AT-ST Walker Pilot, and a Rebel Trooper. Now, out of these three minifigures, my favourite has to be Baze Malbus. I just really like the torso printing in particular, and I also like the tricked up sort of accessories that he comes with as well. But now, let's move on to the back of these minifigures. When it comes to the back of these minifigures, out of the three, Baze Malbus has the most amount of detail again, but I actually really like the way that they designed the Rebel Trooper back as well. But now, let's move on to the alternate facial expressions of these minifigures. Now, when it comes to the secondary facial expressions of these minifigures, firstly, there isn't one for the Rebel Trooper, but for the AT-ST Walker Pilot, his one is sort of okay, but my favourite still is Baze Malbus. Actually, he's my favourite minifigure of the set, just because there's the most amount of detail, and he's actually a unique character. But with this news, let's move on to the actual AT-ST Walker itself. Now, here's the AT-ST itself. I'm going to quickly show you what it looks like, but one key thing to know is that even though its legs take up a good portion of the build, they actually have hardly any mobility whatsoever. And as you can see, this set isn't really intended for display since there's quite a few ugly spots, especially from the back. But from the front, it actually looks quite good. And another thing to note is that the AT-ST actually kind of holds itself on a bit of an angle. But now, let's move on to the functionality of the set. Now, when it comes to the functionality of the AT-ST, there aren't too many things you can do on the front. The only things you can actually change are placing the turrets, opening up the head of the AT-ST to see the inside of it, and spinning this thing and this thing as well. But on the back side of the AT-ST, you can spin this knob, which will actually spin the AT-ST in the full 360 degrees, so the pilot inside can get all sorts of ranges of view. Also, with this bit right over here, I'm going to actually spin it a bit. If you press onto this, a spring-loaded shooter will fire from the AT-ST. But let's actually go inside of the head of the AT-ST since there's nothing much else to see. So inside here you have a kind of bomb as well as a gun. Then you have a seating area here. And then you actually, if I spin this around, you have a bit of information on the cockpit as well. So you can see all sorts of information you may need to see. But apart from that, that's actually pretty much it. So let's move on to my final thoughts. What are my final thoughts on this LEGO set? Well, I have quite a few thoughts. Firstly, the design of the AT-ST is quite good. But as you probably already know, this set has been retired for a long time. But in 2023, LEGO have actually released a Hoth AT-ST with a different minifigure selection and with slightly more modern building techniques. And if you want to get an AT-ST set, I highly recommend getting that version instead because it retails, I believe, for 100 Australian dollars and you can find it for sale for even less. Actually, sorry, it's actually from 2022, not 2023. Also, with this set, it's well designed, the minifigure selection is actually really good, and since it's actually a decent display set, but it's not really useful as a play set, I have to give it 4.5 stars. Now, this set's good for what it is, which is a LEGO AT-ST, but it doesn't make the best display set because there are quite a few ugly angles, but as I went through in the review, you can't even move the legs, so it's not really a fun set you want to play with. This is a sort of mediocre set, and it looks good, but the functionality is kind of lacking since you can't really do anything about the legs. But I think that's due to the way that LEGO have just built these AT-ST sets. But yeah, Let me know what your thoughts are down below on this LEGO set or LEGO ATSTs in general. If you want to see more content just like this, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. I hope you guys have an amazing day and keep building.